It's in the styrofoam.
Rocky Romanella is the founder and CEO of 360 Management Services LLC and author of the book Tighten the Lug Nuts. With over 40 years of Rocky Romanella is the founder and CEO of 360 Management Services LLC and author of the book Tighten the Lug Nuts. With over 40 years of boots-on-the-ground leadership experience, Rocky creates excitement through his energy, passion, and knowledge in every podcast. During his 36 years at UPS, he led one of the largest rebranding initiatives in franchising history, the UPS Store, revolutionizing the $9 billion retail shipping and business services market. He also led the integration of more than 20 acquisitions that became UPS Supply Chain Solutions and led its improved financial performance, capabilities, and global footprint. Post-UPS, he served as CEO and director for Unitech Global Services, a telecommunications company, and serves as an independent board member and advisor. Thank you for listening, and we hope you enjoy the discussion.
Do this look like work to you? Nah, looking at the lights like it's all of this for me. Everyone tonight is here, all of this for me. Hands in the air, yeah, all of this for me. Bottles over here, all of this for me. Bottles bringing bottles out, all of this for me. You for real?
Hello, and welcome into another edition of The Rome Show here on HamiltonRadio.net, Channel 2, and Facebook.com/The Rome Show 1. I am your host, Andrew Romanella. Alongside me, my brother and my partner, or should I say, in front of me, my brother and my partner, Rocky Romanella. Remember, you can get us on Instagram and on Twitter at Wide World of Rome. Head over to the website, wideworldofrome.com, and if you want to get your opinion heard on the show, call in at 609-807-2492 or comment in on the Facebook section. Boy, is the Rome Show excited to be back on the airwaves today. A lot, Rocky, has happened in the last week of sports.
A lot of good stuff has happened in sports. A lot of, recovery from Clayton Kershaw, 2 huge starts in the World Series. The Jets lost again. Awesome. An incredible game between the Browns and the Cincinnati Bengals that I think captured my attention yesterday afternoon, which I really enjoyed.
And I figured you're going to be a little excited for the 2-minute drill because that's the first game I have on the docket because
Wow.
I enjoyed watching your man Joe Burrow as well.
I enjoyed that game, and I also enjoyed the 5-0 Tennessee Titans playing the 5-0 Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, and I really actually thought that you saw 2 teams that were actually legitimate,
No doubt.
which I was surprised about. And I wonder if we're going to feel the same way tonight with the Monday Night Football matchup.
Very, very, very possibly.
So much to dissect on the Rome Show today. Again, I'm going to say it. 609-807-2492 at Wide World of Rome on the social media. We have a poll up right now. You can go over there and you can write in and get your opinion heard. I'm fired up today, Rock.
Tell me why.
Straight off the Rome, and I'm pissed off.
Wow.
And here's why.
That's not good.
Here's why. And I think you're going to agree with me because we were together when it happened. So for those of you that may not know, okay, yesterday in the Dallas Cowboys versus Washington football team football game. That just sounds terrible.
The FT.
Yeah, the old FT, right? Andy Dalton was carrying the football and was giving himself up on a slide, okay? And as everybody knows, the golden rule in football is when the quarterback goes to give himself up, takes that baseball-type slide into the turf, all bets are off. They're giving themselves up. They don't need to be touched because they're giving themselves up,
Yes.
and it should just be move on. Well, John Bostic of the Washington football team decided that he wanted to lower his shoulder and his helmet and absolutely annihilate Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton's helmet came off. He pretty much got knocked unconscious, had to come out of the game in concussion protocol, all the terrible things you don't want to see in the game of football. I have 2 points here for you. The first one is,
Give 'em to
okay,
me.
there is zero room in the National Football League for plays like that.
Yes.
That's just facts. It's just facts. It's a dangerous enough sport, Rock.
It's dangerous.
Guys get hurt every day.
They do.
You just don't need guys getting hurt when they're choosing to give themselves up on a play.
No, like just not that way. Like we're like 5 to 10 years into this whole thing
Right.
about like protecting quarterbacks.
Like, do
let's
we
just
not
get,
know
just, like,
this?
get with it.
Right. And I literally couldn't have said it better myself. The second thing is the NFL comes out today, or sources per the NFL come out today and say that it's unlikely that Bostic is going to be suspended. To me, that is asinine.
No Department of Player Safety in the NFL.
How though? How? I don't understand it, because if you see a hit like that and you're trying to keep player safety in the game and you don't suspend a guy for that hit, well, then there's a lot of other hits where guys have been either ejected from a game or suspended, where I couldn't disagree more with the NFL.
Listen, Myles Garrett used his helmet to hit someone in the face, and he's still playing football. I mean,
Right, but he was suspended at least for the rest of the year. At least
Cool.
they came down on him.
dude, he used it. He used a
Helmet
helmet
as a weapon.
As a weapon.
As a
Like,
weapon.
on the street. He'd be in jail.
What I did like, though, okay, the only thing I like that came out of this, and I think this is up for interpretation, and I think you're going to agree with me here, okay? This is what Mike McCarthy had to say after the game about his team's reaction to Andy Dalton. We speak all the time about playing for one another, respecting one another, McCarthy told reporters. That was definitely, probably not the response you would expect. He's directly talking to the rest of his team.
Yeah.
And I said it to you after the hit happened. Why did no one come to Andy Dalton's defense? I'm not asking you to start a melee. I'm not asking you to rip somebody's helmet off and punch him in the face. But hey, maybe go get in someone's grill, because you just annihilated my quarterback. And honestly, I don't know how you could watch that hit and feel comfortable yourself, because it made me uncomfortable.
No. Listen, yeah, I don't understand that part either. Listen, it's just not, it's interesting how you're supposed to defend your teammates in football. Like it's not really part of the game, I guess you would say. Like it's weird. Like they yell at each other, they help like I don't know, they punch each other in the face with helmets on. Like I don't necessarily know how to come to his defense.
Well, I thought about it in terms of hockey, okay? And you know this very well. Every time
You answer the bell. Bostic would be answering the bell. And
Right.
If it wasn't right then, which by the way,
it would
have
be,
been
it
right
would have
then.
been right then.
Like honestly, you're at a point where like if you do something like that in the game, it doesn't matter if it's to the other team's worst player. You better expect a response.
And how many times did we hear? And didn't it happen in the Stanley Cup Finals this year where there was like a bad hit, and then we were going into another game, or there was like some bad blood
Always.
somewhere? And it's one of those things where hockey players don't let that stuff go. Now, I'm not asking for in 2021 when the Washington football team plays the Dallas Cowboys, they're putting bounties out on Bostic's head. I'm not asking for that. But 350-pound linemen want to go shove a dude? Go ahead.
But if let's say for whatever reason the play gave itself an opportunity where Bostic didn't have to fight that game, and you didn't play Washington FT for a year, you better believe that Bostic's first shift next year, he would have to fight someone.
If this was the hockey example,
Absolutely.
100%.
Absolutely.
And for those of you that maybe don't dive or indulge in the sport of hockey, at the end of the day, in the shortest and simplest of forms, fighting is legal. Rocky and I talk about this all the time. It's the best part about the game of hockey. No matter what you do on that ice, there will be revenge served to you if you do something that a team believes is not right to one of their players.
Yeah,
Facts.
no doubt.
And
no
it
doubt.
could last 5 years.
But the other problem is you see this a lot in baseball too. Like you just don't know how to fight. Like I feel like anytime there's a football brawl or like a scrum or even in baseball when someone it's literally more about the show of like being in it than like actually about like punching someone in the face.
Do you remember?
Like I don't think they're trying to punch someone in the face.
Do you
ever.
remember when Bryce Harper 2 years ago
But he just
shoved-
throw his
he
helmet.
threw his-
It's like
and he-
why?
and he missed?
It's like I just don't get it.
You-
Like, are you going out there to fight someone, or are
Right.
you going out there to just like
right.
charge them? Literally, you're going out to charge them
them
out.
out.
You're not going out there to like you're mad at that person for throwing a baseball at your face.
So I pose this question to you, Rocky. Okay? You're an offensive lineman on the Dallas Cowboys. Andy Dalton gets hit that way. What's your immediate response?
I can't believe I have to protect Ben Ranucci for the rest of the game. I don't even know. I don't think I said his name right. I think I messed it up. I feel bad for him. He went to JMU.
Oh, there it is. Oh yeah, like, and you know what that brings me to as well?
Yeah.
I thought about this. You might have said it on Sunday. Why the hell doesn't Josh Rosen have a job?
I don't know. But yeah, but that's probably was their reaction.
100%.
My reaction is like, bro, I'm getting in your face.
See, and that's my reaction. Honestly, I truthfully, if I'm this is the angle I took when I was thinking about it. If I'm a 2-4 football team, right? They were 2-4 going into that game.
Yeah.
And I'm getting slaughtered by what people believed was going to be the worst team in the league going into the year. A lot of people believe Washington was going to be that bad. If I'm getting slaughtered like that, we're about to lose our third straight game as the NFC East favorite. I'm actually going to go get myself kicked out to defend him because that actually might light a fire in my team's ass, right?
Oh yeah.
You know, like, let me go get this dude right now who just absolutely annihilated our quarterback, who I don't know Andy Dalton for scratch, right? I don't know him. I know this microphone better than I know Andy Dalton's personality. But what I can tell you is anything you read about him over the course of his career, he's a fantastic dude. No one has anything bad to say about him. So I can't imagine a locker room that saw that happen and said, whatever. I can't imagine that.
Nah, because that locker room's a mess. Because the first thing they all thought of was like, crap, third string quarterback.
Yes. Instead
we're gonna continue to suck.
And in my opinion, my response is I'm gonna go beat a dude's face in so that I can fire the rest of my team up. And by the way, I'm also one of the biggest people on the field. So
Yeah, I just listen. It's not part of it. You
No,
know,
I'm
like it's just not
disappointed.
part of the game. Like it's not there,
That's
which
the-
I don't understand.
agreed, 100%.
That part of it I don't understand because it's a physical game.
And if you remember, the Dolphins were playing the Baltimore Ravens on Monday Night Football 2 years ago, right before Joe Flacco lost his job. Do you remember why Joe Flacco lost his job?
Guessing he got buried.
Kiko Alonso.
That's right. I remember that slide.
Absolutely
Yeah.
went helmet to helmet on Joe Flacco on
Yep.
a slide and didn't get ejected from that game. It was an unreal, like people lost their
It was
minds.
the same hit, literally the same hit.
Then he got suspended. So he didn't get ejected,
Yeah.
then got suspended, and essentially might have ended Joe Flacco's career
You probably just sent in Andy Dalton's.
and just probably ended Andy Dalton.
There's no reason for Andy Dalton to come back now.
No, I
If
wouldn't.
Andy Dalton has a family and he goes home, they're like, yeah, you ain't go back.
If I see that, I couldn't. Anything, anyone in my family, if that happened to them, I would never want them.
Forget
So,
about it.
and the final point of it is, and I think we've said it multiple times already, but it is the game of football, and it is violent to begin with.
Well, that's the part I don't get. Like, I'm tired of watching Twitter feed where some stupid coach in college football is like headbutting people with that helmets on and like getting bloody. And then like I'm watching all these coaches do all these crazy things to get their people fired up. And now the one thing that should really fire you up, and that's defending your brother in arms, is not enough to get you going. That's what I don't
100%.
get.
Makes no
That's
sense
what
to
I
me.
don't get about it.
None whatsoever.
But I didn't play. You know what? I didn't play football, so
and
yeah.
I didn't play it at a high enough level. You know, I played football in boarding school, and this was when we ran a lot. You know, this was 10 years ago. So the shotgun kind of style of football in
You
high
weren't
school,
good enough to play shotgun, even if it was popular.
right? Right. That's my point. So, you know, I remember one time, Rock, I got pancaked, dude. We were playing Berkshire. Okay, let me set the scene up for you, Romo Sapiens, because it's honestly one of my favorite stories now that I'm okay with it. So I obviously wasn't built to be a football player. I mean, 5'6", 170 doesn't really, unless you're Boston, what's his name for the Eagles.
That alone will tell that alone will tell you about the league he was
Did the
playing
league-
in.
and that I was an all-conference defensive or a linebacker my senior year. You know, toot. Either way, we're in the veer. Okay, so that is like the wishbone offense, and I get
Remember the Titans ran the veer.
yeah, and I get a handoff going to my right-hand side, and the defensive lineman for Berkshire at the time was committed to go to University of North Carolina. He was 6'5", 215.
Pretty good.
He came around the corner. There was zero chance for any of our offensive linemen to come close to sniffing this dude. All I remember is opening my eyes and being on my back with Mr. Martin, our head football coach, kind of like, yo, Romo, you good? Like, yo, you good? And I just remember being like, yo, coach, like, what just happened? He's like, you just got flattened. So the way the film looked, it literally looked like a toothpick being snapped by somebody's finger.
It's tough.
And I remember not knowing that feeling, but then when I watched the videotape after, I couldn't help but cringe at myself getting just hammered, right? How were you as Andy Dalton, to your point earlier, going back and watching that tape? I'm talking about boarding school football. This man's talking about playing against the best in the league, the fastest, the strongest, the biggest. So if I understand that on that small level, I just can't imagine what he's going to think when he watches that tape today.
He's not watching it.
I
A, and B,
Just like
he's-
Dak Prescott, don't watch that tape either.
I don't necessarily know if Andy knows how to spell his name right now based on what I saw yesterday.
I was actually surprised he ended up walking off.
Yeah.
So honestly, man, shout out to Andy Dalton. I really hope it's just if it's the worst is just a concussion. I'm super happy that that's the worst that came out of that hit. John Bostic, you need to check yourself. National Football League, you need to check yourself because it's utterly embarrassing.
It's you know what? There's just no standard.
None.
There's no standard, right? Like if there's a helmet targeting hit in hockey that they want to get rid of, right? And so it's automatic it's a 5-minute major misconduct. You get thrown out of the game, and then based on right. So when Brendan Shanahan developed the Department of Player Safety, when they really wanted to get the headshots out of the game, is literally every single time there was an incident on the ice that resulted in something, they put out a video, explained why it was a why it was a suspension, and then how many games they handed out. And then now they set a standard for the future. So now when incidents like this happen, they take into consideration, are you a repeat offender? Is this your first time? And then how bad was the hit? And then they assess games based on that. Like there's literally no standard for anything in the NFL. And by the way, that's not just helmet shots and headshots. That's literally off-field conduct. That is any type of suspension that they hand out. There's literally no rhyme or reason to anything that they do.
And what I wanted to say on that point as well. Two things. One, we're not hockey homers. We love hockey. Rocky might be more of a homer than me, but really more than anything else for us, it's just the fact that we actually truly believe hockey just does it better than everyone else. That's just the facts. When it comes to their rule book and their morals and their values and the way they go about their game, we've talked about this before. They'd rather not have as many viewers to have their game appropriately played.
I don't know about that, but yes.
Obviously, that's probably a little extreme. They
extreme.
want the viewers, but either way, they care more about those values. The second thing, to your point, the thought I had was the 4-minute major, right? If a high sticking penalty happens in hockey, and
This is so ridiculous.
it's so ridiculous, but it's to your point about standards.
Yeah.
Automatically, but
If he's
if he's bleeding, it automatically is 4.
I love it.
Automatically.
Universal.
And it could be as dumb as, I have this pen in my hand right now. Let's say what Rocky walked over to look at my screen real quick and I accidentally hit him in the head. 1, that's a 2-minute penalty. And 2, if Rocky starts bleeding, I get another 4. Standards. That's all this. It just comes down to standards.
Is there blood on your face?
Is there blood? And that's
extra penalty?
and that's what's funny too, is like when you hear the announcers in those situations, like, all right, we got to wait to find out if he's bleeding.
Yeah, let's check. Let's check to see if he's got blood.
Let's check to see if he's got
This is
blood.
Great.
It is great. So again, Andy Dalton, shout out to him. I felt terrible. I was uncomfortable.
Listen, I wish I'm tired of shouting out Cowboys quarterbacks, but it is sad that they keep getting hurt.
Right.
I am happy that
And
they're losing.
in those ways, though.
Yeah.
Those ways. And hold that thought because we're going to get to it in a second. But first, I want to let the Romo Sapiens know, Rocky. Okay, if you're looking for a low-cost advertisement for your business, we need you to become a sponsor of the Rome Show. We air live every Monday from 7 to 8 p.m. on HamiltonRadio.net Channel 2 and Facebook Live. Okay, we're reaching roughly over 1,000 people per month here on HamiltonRadio.net and Facebook Live, and we're only going to keep growing. You can listen to the podcast wherever you listen to podcasts, and we want you to know this. There are 15-second, 30-second sponsorships available, segment sponsors, Facebook comment section, phone line, and more. All you need to do is head over to thewideworldofrome.com and sign on to that Contact Us section, or send us an email at theromeshow1@gmail.com, the Rome Show, the number 1 @gmail.com, or hit us up on the Twitter and on the gram at Wide World of Rome.
Nice.
That was nice, right?
That was nice. I liked it in the club in the back.
In the club in the background, right?
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what's funny is when you start setting up like the music and stuff, right? It's funny how like you have to like look for the instrumentals. But when you first listen to music instrumentals, I don't know if you have this happen to you, but for me, the song sounds different. And I'm almost like, is this in the club? Is it not in the club? Because I don't hear the rapper or the singer singing when I'm expecting them to.
That sounds like the song. I don't know what you're talking about.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, it's the song.
I don't know. It's just like it doesn't give me that vibe. So either way, all right, here's the deal. All right. And I even have another song picked out for you for the 2-minute drill. Are you ready for it?
Exciting. Let's go.
I think you're gonna like this one.
Boom.
Here it is. The 2-minute drill. We're gonna do it every week on the Rome Show. Okay. You can chime in 609-807-2492 or get us on the Facebook comments section. 2 minutes. Every NFL game. Let's start the music.
Let's start it. Oh, yes.
Does that not excite you? All right, here it is, Rock. Game number 1. Cleveland, Cincinnati. Nothing more than this. It was a shootout, battle of two young quarterbacks. Both actually looked pretty good. The Browns get the best of it, 37-34.
Absolutely love the game. The back and forth, like, great. A, I'm so happy for Joe Burrow. B, is it ironic that when Odell Beckham Jr. exits the offense, Baker comes out of his funk and goes off for 5 TDs?
I think
Is that a coincidence? I think not.
I think I want you to hold that thought for first down on 4-down territory.
Beautiful.
Next up, the Giants lose to the Eagles 22-21.
So before I say anything about the Giants, can I say one thing?
Yes.
I absolutely hate Thursday night football.
I know you do.
I didn't even know the Giants were playing.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah, it's not the same allure as Monday Night
I
Football.
absolutely hate Thursday night football.
They wanted it to be, but it's not.
I hate Thursday night football, and I broke my own rule, and I played people on Thursday night. Typically, I take every single person.
I
on
never do Thursday
game.
night. Thursday
I
night.
mean, I had no chance of winning this week anyway, but
But still, Thursday night scares me for some reason. The Lions come back late, defeat the Falcons 23-22. What you need to know about this game, Rock, Todd Gurley with a minute left tried stopping himself from scoring, fell into the end zone, and gave the Lions the ball with the ability to drive and score.
the fact that you can't hold them for 1.5 minutes is more of a thing than Todd Gurley falling.
Thank
You're literally
Thank
putting
you.
a loss on Todd Gurley when, by the way, your team is classic just giving up leads all year. Like, why don't we talk about the defensive coordinator not being able to stop anybody?
100%. Now, I respect the heck out of Todd Gurley. You know why? Because Todd Gurley, after the game, took a lot of heat for that and almost said it was kind of his fault, and I was really surprised by that. But hey, respect to him. The Steelers, you mentioned this before, defeated the Titans 27-24 in the battle of the only undefeated teams remaining in the NFL. The Steelers come away with the 3-point win, Rock, and remain undefeated.
Listen, the Steelers are a good team, and they proved it. Although I love the fight from Ryan Tannehill and the Titans.
Love it. 'Cause they shut down Derrick Henry, only had 75 yards.
It's literally hard not to cheer for them right now.
100%. Ben Roethlisberger went off in that game, 32 completions, 268, and 2 TDs. Saints beat the Panthers 27-24 in the battle of former Saints QB Teddy Bridgewater
Teddy B.
against Drew Brees. Both had pretty good games. Drew Brees comes out the winner by 3.
Yeah, that was an interesting game too. I mean, 3-3, 3-2. Like, it was tight. It was fun, and it was happening all at the same time as Cleveland, Cincinnati, and Pittsburgh and Tennessee. But for whatever reason, it just didn't get me as excited as the Browns and the Bengals.
I agree with you, but that's a good point out of you. A lot of 1 o'clock games were tight.
Oh, it was a
the
great
whole time.
Listen, the red zone was going off yesterday.
Yeah, there was like a 4 or 5 box at one
Actually,
point.
that's the only thing I'll say that I like about the Thursday night game is that I got to watch red zone. I got to watch red zone all day. I had no
Nothing
obligation
to worry about. And that's what I felt because the Dolphins were on
Yeah.
bye this week. The Bills beat the Jets 18-10. Honestly, there was really nothing fun to watch about this game besides the fact that you just saw a Bills team playing down to their competition and finding a way to win.
Listen, it was a trap game for the Bills. Everyone knows it. You go home, you say, hey, good teams find a way to win. You burn the tape and you move on.
We talked about Andy Dalton already, but to finish the conversation, Washington won that game 25-23 and weirdly enough positioned themselves in the terrible NFC East for a potential title run.
Can we change the name to the DC football?
Oh,
And just call it that?
like the soccer team?
Yeah, it's like DC United. We'll
DC
just call it
United?
DC football. So the NFC East is just so sad. It's just so sad.
It is.
It really is. And by the way, like, I wouldn't be surprised if you see the Eagles win a couple in a row after the way they beat the Giants on Thursday night.
Buccaneers slaughter the Raiders 45-20. Wow, does Tommy Brady look good?
I just love that it's Tom Brady is better than Bill Belichick now. Like it's not one or the other. Like
No.
they're both good.
They're
like
both good.
I don't understand why you got to do it.
And it's okay to believe that the reason why Bill Belichick isn't as good this year right now is simply because he's actually getting used to a new quarterback and how to get them going.
Dude, he doesn't. Yeah, he's got no talent.
Chiefs slaughter the Broncos 43-16 in a snow game.
Yeah, I know. First one of the year. Very exciting.
It
Early.
was kind of fun to watch.
Of course, I know. And they were talking more about Green Bay being cold than when they were talking about Denver being with snow.
You mentioned it before. The 49ers defeat the Patriots 33-6. But Jimmy Garoppolo, 0 touchdowns, 2 interceptions.
Dude, the defense for the Patriots is actually pretty good, but I mean, is it?
I have no idea.
But maybe
we're going to learn a lot.
But I think Jimmy G is. I mean, you could have even argued this last year. Is that he is more of a what do you call it? Like he's a sergeant. Like he's a in battle. Like he's not
He's
high
Peyton
flying.
Manning the last year of his
That's- yeah,
career
exactly.
managing an offense.
No doubt.
Jaguars, Chargers. Justin Herbert looked like a dude. 4 total touchdowns in that game. Chargers win 39-29.
Herbert's performance was literally my only interest in that game.
It was so good that Richard Sherman tweeted about how good he was throwing the football.
Wow.
Real,
You got a tweet from Richard Sherman. You should save it.
real, recognized, real. Last game on the docket, Kyler Murray and the boys on Sunday Night Football defeat the Seahawks 37-34. That was a fun game to watch.
Definitely a fun game to watch. I just feel like every year the Seahawks have a game like this that they lose, and people are like, "Oh, maybe the
Oh, my-
Seahawks, maybe the
Are you
Seahawks aren't
doing
that
it?
good,"
Yeah.
and then they'll be in the NFC Championship game.
And it's like, oh, by the way, it's okay just to lose one football
They-
game. Like, it's allowed.
This is that's a classic Pete Carroll Seahawks loss.
100%.
Classic.
100%. All right. That is the 2-minute drill sponsored by hopefully somebody out there, because we just told you all of your sponsorship opportunities on the Rome Show. Email us if you want to be the sponsor of the 2-minute drill, theromeshow1@gmail.com.
I got 2 things before the break.
Talk to us.
One, Mikey Milan back on the line here. The Chanticleers win again, now ranked number 20 in the nation.
You know what's funny is I was scrolling through the television
Yes.
and I was like, yo, Mikey chimed into the show last week and talked about the Chanticleers. We had no idea how to say their name. I got to watch this football
No,
team.
listen, no doubt. And then staying in the college football room,
Are-
our second shout out to our college football jump off, Ken Dubas and the Iowa
Iowa
State
State.
Cyclones. I know.
All right, can I shout out someone too?
Yeah, get in it.
Honestly, Rutgers football.
Oh yeah, there you
They
go.
went to Michigan State, and when is the last time Rutgers won a Big Ten game on the road for somebody in Ohio or Michigan?
Nah, I mean the last good game the Rutgers won is the game in Piscataway versus Louisville. Like that's
What was that, 10 years ago?
Actually, it's closer to like 15.
That was Shiano's first stint with
Yeah,
Rutgers football
that's
team.
right.
All right, Rock, we have a choice here. Do you want to go with 4 down territory before the break, or do we want to go with 4 down territory after the break?
How many questions is it?
It's let's rethink that question that you
Four
just asked.
down. Oh, so it's
Four
4 questions.
Down territory. It's up to you. We leave it up to you.
No, let's go to the break. We'll come back. We'll finish it off, and then we'll get into the World Series.
All right, listen, you are listening to The Rome Show here on HamiltonRadio.net, Channel 2, Facebook.com/The Rome Show 1. We will be right back after this word from our sponsor.
What is the one thing every great leader has in common? They challenge their people to not stop at the first right answer. Tighten the Lug Nuts is a leadership book that will teach you how to move past the first right answer with entertaining and detailed examples founded in real-world concepts and experiences. Accelerate towards your professional goals with Tighten the Lug Nuts, one of the best leadership books available.
All right, all right. Welcome back into The Rome Show here on HamiltonRadio.net, Channel 2, and Facebook.com/The Rome Show 1. I am Andrew Romanello. That is my partner, Rocky Romanello. We are here all the way up until the 8:05 hour. And remember, you can call the show at any time, 609-807-2492, or Rock, where else can they find the show?
Instagram,
And,
Facebook,
and,
Spotify,
and,
iTunes,
and,
podcasts.
and
LiveRollToFrome.com.
and Twitter. but you can find them all those places too.
I thought that was part of it.
That was
My
awesome,
bad.
actually. That was fantastic. I wish I would have recorded that segment right there. That could be a future commercial. We have a lot of fun here on the Rome Show. We love when the fans chime in as well. So again, all of those different areas that Rocky just mentioned, feel free to chime in on the show. All right, dude. We got a little 4-down territory for you. Here's the fun part about 4-down territory. Because on the 2-minute drill, right, we're up tempo. You know, we're trying to get the offense going. We're trying to put points on the board, and we're probably playing the shotgun style no huddle offense, right? With 4-down territory, we're going to huddle here, and we're going to make sure we get the plays out appropriately, and our offense is locked in.
Sounds good. Sounds like we have 3 timeouts
We have 3 timeouts,
and a 2-minute warning.
we just got a really good return, and we're on the 35-yard line, 1st and 10.
All right, let's go kick a field goal.
All right, here we go. First down.
Why not get a touchdown? I don't know.
First, I have no idea, but like, hey, I mean, if you're the Bills the other day, just go kick 5 of them, 6 of them, and win the game.
Yeah, why not?
First down territory. Here it is. Odell Beckham Jr. tears his ACL. He will miss the remainder of the season. I don't even know if I have to ask the rest of my question because you said it before. How the hell is it going to look for the Browns moving forward? Because it looked really good after he got hurt the other day.
I will support the Browns going to the playoffs now.
Really?
Yes.
Wait. Hot take?
Yeah.
Was that a hot take?
Dude, listen. Baker Mayfield was on the verge of absolutely self-destructing before that game. And he came
And in the beginning of the game,
and
he was 0 for 5.
and he came out of the gates miserable.
Yeah, he did.
No Odell Beckham distraction.
Yep.
Back against the wall.
Yep.
He found how many people did he find? He went 22 for 23 for the
Oh.
rest of the game.
It was 90.
And it's not like he went 22 for 23. He was throwing dimes.
dimes. And Cincinnati took the lead in that game with 2 minutes remaining, 34-31.
He played like the Baker you want to cheer for.
Yes,
No doubt.
100%. And you know what's crazy about that is,
And Joe Burrow just did his own thing, which, by the way, is just almost even more impressive.
so while we were watching that game, I made the point that Cleveland being in the same division as Cincinnati gives you a real kind of, hey, like, do we have the right quarterback in Baker Mayfield? Because the other guy in our conference has only been playing 7 games and already looks better than Baker Mayfield. That's why I put so much stock in that game yesterday, because I'm like, it's literally the battle of what should be the next 15 years in that division. I know Cincy's going to have that guy for 15 years.
Yeah.
But I think both of us agree. We didn't know if after the end of this year, Baker would be the guy for Cleveland.
No, and I think if he continues to play that way, he is. I mean, the worst part about Baker Mayfield, the worst part about Baker Mayfield playing good is the fact that he has to stay in Cleveland, which he probably doesn't want to.
You're right. And I think to further your point, and I don't think OBJ is going to stay there for a long time, but if OBJ is there, who knows? Maybe there is something to what you noted before.
Listen, very, very Jeremy Shockey like in Cleveland if they go
Wow.
to the playoffs.
That's a great point.
Yes.
Like
Although Jeremy Shockey didn't
on
go
the
out till like
Giants.
game, like Jeremy Shockey was like, I want to say it was like week 12. I want to say around.
Didn't he
Maybe it
win
was-
the Super Bowl that year?
Yes, they did.
Was it Kevin Boss that took over for
It
him?
was, and I'll never forget the game. Shockey broke his leg because it was an ice and rainy game, and I stepped in a huge ice puddle,
Yeah.
and I had to sit in my shoes with 10 heat warmers in for the rest of the game. I was there with Mom, actually. Yeah, you can move on to the next down. That was a fun memory, though.
If you think about it, though, it's sad, but it's true. Sometimes injuries can be the best thing for teams.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. All right, 2nd down and 6. Really good carry there on 1st down by our running back. I don't know what his name is. Rocky loves Singletary.
Brandon Jacobs.
Brandon, I'm down with that. I'm down with that. As long as you didn't say Tiki Barber. Not that I don't like Tiki Barber, but I just feel like for some reason I like Brandon Jacobs
Yeah.
more. Here's the deal. Cam Newton was terrible.
Yes.
There's literally
Disappointing because I'm
No.
a Cam fan.
me too. Here's his stat line. 9 of 15, 98 yards, 3 interceptions, 5 of 9 carries compared to 5 carries, 19 yards on the ground. He got pulled for Jared Stidham with about 6 minutes left in that game. Rock, the Pats are 2-4.
I don't think the Pats are losing football games. I think they're losing the COVID. I think they're losing the coronavirus.
Do you really believe
I
that
do.
that affected him?
I do. They came out of the gates they look so good. They look sound. They look like they were bought in. They look great. Like Cam looked good. Like Like you can't tell me that it hasn't affected them negatively. Not to mention that like Sony Michelle, like, and not that Sony Michelle is the Sony Michelle he was 4 or 5 years ago, but like the fact that like boom, COVID protocol, the other guy, COVID protocol. It's just like distractions left and right with it.
You're 100% right. And what I really respected out of Cam is he came out today and in a report, he said, my job is in jeopardy. Now, I don't,
He got yanked. So
and I don't actually believe that's true, right? Now,
I do.
do I guess here's how I thought about it. Do I believe Bill Belichick is going to make the same move that Nick Saban made with Jalen Hurts in the national championship game?
Who's the backup quarterback in the Patriots?
Jared Stidham.
I mean, listen, if he thinks he can, if he thinks he could turn Jared Stidham into
To a Tagovailoa.
or into anyone that's serviceable.
But that's my point. Like, if you're going to pull an MVP or you're going to pull a guy like Jalen Hurts in the Alabama scenario who took you to 2 national championships and won you one, you better have the guy behind you that is going to significantly be different than what Cam Newton's bringing you. When Cam Newton, in 3 of the 5 games he's played this year, you had everyone going, Cam could be the comeback player of the year. Cam could be the guy. And if you're right about how COVID might have affected that team, then really you kind of got to give him 1 or 2 more weeks before you really think about pulling the plug.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, I'm looking at week 10. Over halfway through the year, the Patriots really have a good understanding.
Listen, it depends. It depends.
Are they in the hunt? You know, what Buffalo does, what Miami does.
Listen, if Miami wins next week and Buffalo wins again, I mean, you might see Stidham a little bit earlier. Ends up.
Yeah, buddy, let's go. Doesn't that just fire you up?
That's got to be third down, right?
That is not third down. Third down. Why don't you guess?
If it's not the Finns, it's Daniel Jones.
Can I literally read you what I wrote down for third down?
Sure.
Evan Ingram.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty obviously that you should get rid of the guy.
What are we doing? Like, and I have to give him credit. I have to give him credit. Let me give him credit before you bash him.
I'm not going to bash him. I'm just going to say catch the ball.
I might bash him, though.
Do you want to know what are you going to say? Because my what I think about the situation might be different than what you're thinking.
I just respect the hell out of him for what he said after the game.
I don't care about what they say. Just play.
No doubt. But
Just catch the ball.
if you do mess up, for you to simply put it on you,
Hey,
that's respect.
listen, I'm going to say the same thing I said about Todd Gurley, right? Hold them.
Yeah.
Hold them.
Yeah. Have a
I mean,
defensive stop.
I mean, hold them. Number one. All right. So number two, here's the sad part about the Ingram drop.
Okay.
It is that not only does he kind of look like him, he doesn't run like him, but he kind of looks like him. And not only does he carry himself in a similar way, but if these wide receivers start like dropping balls consistently for Daniel Jones, like the parallels to Eli Manning are just too tight. It's like
It's very sad. It's kind of crazy.
Like, come on, dude. It's like, come on.
It's kind of scary, though.
Like,
isn't
why
it?
can't we catch balls?
How come we just can't have someone that does something different?
Oh,
And
well,
why-
he runs though, so that's that's good.
That's true. And you know what? I'm one person. I've enjoyed the memes. My favorite one was the win probability one that Barstool put out.
That
where
was
he-
the best
where
one for
Danny-
sure.
But at the end of the day, man, like, good for Daniel Jones. He didn't say a word. He ate it and made sure they got in the end zone. See, that was the biggest thing to me.
No, he went down so he could get
Oh, yeah.
Wayne Gall.
Yeah, it's like, yo, Wayne Gallman, here's a touchdown. Before we get to fourth down here, we have some people tuning in. You shouted out our one Ken Dubas.
Yeah.
Shout out to Ken Dubas. He is, as you can see on the Facebook section, the person that took Andrew, myself, to my first ever tailgate. We probably went to, I don't know how many Iowa Cyclones games in those 2 years at Iowa State. But shout out to Ken. I appreciate you. We appreciate you tuning in. And I have to read one comment that he wrote. Do you know which one I'm about to
Oh, the
read?
McGuire one for sure.
Oh, I was going to say, he wrote in, you are hockey homers.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It is. I mean, like, we can't deny it. Like, we are hockey homers. We also had a few other write-ins. Brian Westbrook called the NFC East on WPIX the other day the NFC least, and that might be the best description of it all.
It is.
The NFC
It's too
least.
bad.
All right, here's the deal. Fourth down and 1, okay?
Going for it.
Rocky, is Tampa Bay and Tom Brady legit.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't understand. Like, why do we need to debate this? They're good.
I think so too. And then they went and added
That I don't know why they got Antonio Brown. I don't know, but like for whatever reason, it's probably gonna work.
Here's why I think it works. And who's the beneficiary of this?
Do you
Not
think-
Mike Evans.
You think AB is gonna live with
Tom
Rob
Brady?
Gronkowski?
That's actually pretty funny. Well, I think that's who the beneficiary of this is.
Listen, it wouldn't have happened if TB12 didn't sign off on it, right?
100%. And I had heard that their relationship in New England had made this is the only reason what made this possible. Had he never played in New England, I don't know if this would have been a possibility.
Listen, I don't know either. I'm not. Everyone thought he was going
Can-
to Seattle.
Can you just listen to this really quickly? Okay, here's the wide receiver core for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Mike Evans,
Pretty good.
Chris Godwin, Antonio Brown,
I mean, these guys are pretty good.
and at the tight end position, you have Cameron Brate and Rob Gronkowski. And then at the running back position,
And if he didn't get hurt, OJ Howard.
right. And then at the running back position, you have Leonard Fournette, Ronald Jones II, and LaShawn McCoy. Now, I get it. LaShawn McCoy is aging. You're talking about a pass-catching back.
You
Out
got
of
a
that
lot
group.
of people who have a lot of stuff to prove.
And a lot of people who, if you are looking for what?
Dude, listen, if you're
That they haven't won yet.
dude, they haven't won yet, and you've got the guy that knows how to win.
Yep. And the only guy that can bring you that experience is Tom Brady.
And
Rocky
who's the coach of the team?
is Bruce Arians.
Here's the deal. Bruce Arians has nothing to do outside. Like for those guys, like for Fournette, for LaShawn McCoy, for AB, like they are listening specifically to Tom Brady.
100%. To finish off the football conversation for today, do you know who the backup quarterback is for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
Kerry Collins. Now I have no idea.
Blaine Gabbert.
Good for Blaine.
Wow. I didn't even know he was still in the league. Follow-up question, who was he drafted by?
Carolina Panthers.
No, Jacksonville Jaguars. Not bad guess, though.
Similar.
Similar, very similar. Staying in the state of Florida. All right, that wraps up the NFL talk here on the
Oh
Rome
yeah,
Show.
duh. I knew that
Yeah, you
actually.
did. You
I see
definitely
him.
did.
Yeah, I know.
You definitely did. Remember, give us a call, 609-807-2492.
Know who I see though when I think of like Jaguars and awkward quarterbacks? I just think like Byron Leftwich.
Byron Leftwich, yeah, because he was the guy though that went to the playoffs with Tom Coughlin, which was like the greatest year in Jacksonville history. So we got week 7 concludes tonight. The Bears play the Rams. Rock, we're gonna learn if the Bears are legit tonight.
Yeah, I'm excited for that one.
I'm super
It's gonna
excited.
be a good one.
It's gonna be a good one. You can tune into that
Bears.
on ESP. And you are listening to The Rome Show here on HamiltonRadio.net, Channel 2, and Facebook.com/The Rome Show 1. Remember, you can tune in, give us a call, 609-807-2492, or chime in on the Facebook comment section, like so many Chanticleers have done tonight. I need to talk about the World Series.
Let's do it.
I need to, okay? Because since we were on the airwaves, 5 games have happened.
Cinco.
The Dodgers took a 3-2 series lead last night, and I feel like we've gotten everything you could ever want out of a World Series.
I'm just so excited that this is the way the World Series is being played right now.
Just to
So excited.
just to recap the 5 games, because again, like
Clutch hits, great
Clu-
pitching, like it's got it all.
big
bad
decisions,
Bad coaching decisions,
bad,
all over
bad
the
base
place.
running
Oh.
everywhere, defensive plays that are
I love
huge.
it.
Game 1 was taken by the Dodgers, 8-3. Game 2 was taken by the Rays, 6-4. Game 3 was taken by the Dodgers, 6-2. Now, Rock, how about this statistic? Here's your Romalytic, okay? Games 1, 2, and 3 never had a lead change.
Impressive.
Then you go to that game 4,
Which was awesome.
awesome, where the Rays win on a Brett Phillips walk-off hit.
Yeah.
And Brett Phillips, that was his first ever career walk-off hit. I want you to listen to the call by Joe Buck, because it wasn't just a walk-off hit that won it. Randy Arozarena had to
Yeah.
be a bad base runner, and Will Smith had to make an even worse play at the catching position for that to
Yeah,
happen.
Will should stick to acting.
Listen in.
Jansen. Fires into center field. Here comes Kiermaier. Phillips is part of the game. Arose, Arena, count around. Throw hard, now he stumbles. With the ball against the wall. Tampa Bay wins it. Bill Phillips, game 4 hero.
What? And you can hear it in Joe Buck's voice. He's like, Arozarena comes around, and now he's stuck. The ball gets away. And it's like, What's going on right now? And like,
No one knows.
if you watch the camera in that shot, it just kept going back like this, left and right, left and right, left and right.
Dude, it's like a cameraman getting burnt on an RPO.
Here's what I love about the play. Underrated part of it. Third base coach, fantastic job. Think about this, right?
You would analyze the third
The
base coach.
Dodgers, because look, think about it. The Dodgers in the top of the ninth, or excuse me, the top of the eighth took a 7-6 lead. You got Kenley Jansen on the hill for the Dodgers. You're down 7-6. You have the last player on your bench hitting. He has 0 postseason hits in his career, right? So the moment that ball is hit, and you know you're tying the game, you've already won. Like, you bet the lottery, you played the blackjack, you spun the wheel, and you won it. So why not put pressure on the defense? So you send a Rosarena and you say to yourself, hey, if he gets thrown out, we live to fight another
Bro, he
day.
didn't run him because he wanted to put pressure on the defense. He threw him because he fumbled the ball in center field.
Right. And you send him to put pressure on the defense. Because think about it, right? He could fumble the ball, and he could have just been like, nah, hold up. He could still throw you out. Instead, he saw a fumble. He said, screw it. That guy's got to spin around, throw it. They got to make a cut and go. And you know what happened? They messed up the play. And that is why you put pressure on defenses when you're a third base coach in the MLB.
Yeah, or you just run when someone fumbles a ball, like, no doubt.
Well, I mean, that's a really good point out of you. Did you hear?
Can I?
Go ahead.
I'm going to say there's another overlooked part of the play.
What is it?
I feel bad for the guy who made the relay throw
Why?
because the turn and he threw a strike.
All right. I'm going to have to disagree with you.
Why? He threw a strike to home.
Which side of the plate did he throw the ball to?
He threw it to the left side where
No, he threw it. The reason why Will Smith missed it is because he went.
did he miss the ball or did the ball fly out when he went to place the tag?
He went too early on the tag, so he had to reach across to his right to catch the ball. Tried to catch and swipe. He had no idea that he was gonna get cooked. Like, he could have caught that ball, flipped it up, spun around, caught it again, and then tagged Rosarena out because he tripped and fell.
Well, so isn't that the catcher's fault for not looking?
But, well, think about this, right? You're getting set up for a play. You have a chance to look, but then when that ball's about to get cut, you have to talk to that guy. It's either a cut or it's saying nothing at all, and you're reading that baseball, right? So now you're looking, you come back, you see him halfway down the line. That's all in one motion. So you're thinking, let me just get this ball and get the tag down because you can't block the plate anymore. So it's got to be bang, bang. I don't know if that was a great throw by the cutoff man.
The turn was nice.
Because if you think about it, the turn was nice. Well, you got to get that on the left-hand side. Here is Brett Phillips after the game. To me, this is the epitome of why you play sports.
Minutes to gather yourself just now. What happened?
Oh, man. I'm having a hard time putting my emotions into words. First of all, what a great team effort on this win. It took almost 28 guys. That's what's special about this team. Just all come together for one goal is to win. We don't rely on one guy. It takes everyone, and man, baseball's fun. Wow.
Did you see the game coming to you?
Yeah, an inning before, I saw we're running out of bench guys. Maybe use me to pinch run, steal bag. They're going for Troy. Next thing you know, I'm fifth in the lineup, coming into the tunnel. Hoover looks over at me, hey, you're coming up fifth. Let's go win this thing. I said, you already know. Let's go. Golly. What a special moment. I just want to thank God for the opportunity.
Yeah, Kenley Jansen.
Golly, like that. How about the expression, the feeling, like literally like a 12-year-old that just won a little league game for him, Steve.
Nah, that's awesome. Yeah, it's great.
And it's cool to hear the backstory. Like, you think about professional sports, right? And you think about like the pressure and the heat of the moment. And you got a guy who was like, yeah, I was looking down the bench. I essentially realizing that he is the last player on the roster. And he's like, oh man, I might have to play in this game. Oh yeah, I do have to play in this game. Oh, I'm hitting fifth. Oh, we're down by 1 in the World Series. Okay, sure. Hits a single. Did you know? I don't know if you saw it. All right. I don't know if you watched it live, but if you watched it live, they pan to the bench and Brett Phillips is on the bench. Like he's panting and like there's doctors around him. His resting heart rate was what do you call it? Registered. at 145 beats per minute. They had to give him an IV after the just
Why?
because of the celebration. His heart rate spiked so much because of the celebration and
Isn't
the
like
victory.
145 good for like someone who's working out?
Right. Well, I guess I don't know. Maybe like it was the celebration. It was a moment.
Maybe
Maybe
it was like 245.
I don't. All I know was, but think that's resting heart rate. That's him sitting on the bench.
Oh, that's crazy.
That's resting heart rate. So I thought that was pretty crazy. So that tied the series, right? And that was easily up until last night, right? That was the moment in the series where it's like this could shift the entire series. Then Clayton Kershaw stepped on the hill last night, and Tyler Glasnow
This
stepped
is
on
the
the hill.
beauty of baseball.
It's the beauty of baseball. Tyler Glasnow was not great, Rock. Clayton Kershaw wasn't great either. But Clayton Kershaw, and I believe in both of his starts in this series, has been everything the Dodgers needed. 5 2/3, 6 Ks, gave up 2 runs, gave his offense a chance to win the game, rolled the ball out to his bullpen, and only threw 85 pitches, which tells me what? He might be available again for Game 7.
Well, that's the problem. That's the problem.
He can't be out of the bullpen. We've
The-
seen it too many
The
times.
problem is that if you need Kershaw to come in, whether it's Game 6 or Game 7, out of the bullpen, because you're in that scenario, and he gives up a home run, every good thing he did out the window.
So do you believe that
And by the way, I heard that our boys LaGreca said that tonight too.
do you believe that Dave Roberts doesn't really look to use him then the rest of the series? Or can you
Nah,
hit
Dave,
manage
nah,
like that?
Dave Roberts is no. You got to throw him. You got to throw him.
Well,
For sure. But
considering-
Dave Roberts, I think has made I think he's made every game he's made a bad decision. I think they've lost.
And the
And
game that we just talked about, part of the reason why was Baez gives up the home run in like the middle
Oh
inning.
yeah, it wasn't the 2 runs that
No.
yeah, it was the 2 runs before
Yes.
that. Yeah, because you could have kept the lead and not given it up
And
again.
you take that guy. The guy just gave up homers, dude. Like, and then gives up another game tying homer. It's like, why is he still
Yeah,
in
that
the
was
game?
the lead switch in the 6th.
100%.
Yeah.
And that's to your point earlier, where this World Series has had everything, including in Game 5, an attempted steal of home.
I love it.
You know, that's the first.
Benny the
stri-
Jet was in the stands, I think, actually.
That was the last time I think someone stole home in a major
I'm
league.
telling you.
No, that was actually the first steal of home since the 80s in a World Series game. Attempted.
amazing. I think even in Game 2, I can't remember who the Game 2 starter was. Who's starting tonight, right? That's who's starting Game 2.
Oh, Blake Snell.
yeah, so Blake Snell. So Blake
for the
Snell.
Rays,
Yeah,
right?
No. For the Dodgers.
For the Dodgers, their Game 2 starter is different than tonight. Tomorrow they're starting Gonsolin, who's the rookie.
Who is number 2? Who started Game 2?
Walker Bueller.
No, Walker Bueller started Game
he was
3.
3. All right,
Yeah.
I got you right here.
Because Walker Bueller is going to start 7 if they get there.
All right, I got you right here. We want Game 2 starter.
Point is that your boy Roberts, like the guy throws the guy gives up 1 hit and 4 and 5 outs. A little shaky, by the way, that hits a home run, and Dave Roberts yanks him, and the Rays proceed to go score 4 runs and then go on to win 6-4.
Oh, it was Tony Gonsolin.
My point,
Yeah.
I'm like, why are you taking that guy out? And I actually applauded the Rays last night for
Yes.
leaving the long-haired thrower in from
Last now.
yeah,
Yeah.
because they left him in after he had a shaky start too.
Yeah.
I'm saying, why are you doing this?
I agree.
How many times do we see an ace struggle in the first, give up a big hit or a home run, give up a run, and then be lights out for the rest of the game? Like, why aren't we staying with this guy?
I 100% agree.
Right, and then you give now your team is literally like, so they hit 4 home runs, right? They score 4 runs, you lose 6-4. Like, how do you know that guy doesn't throw a gem? You don't give up. Like, how do you know the second time around the lineup he goes lights out?
And my
Like,
thing,
why aren't you staying? And if you're gonna chance it with your bullpen, why not stick with the guy?
right, and that's my thing.
Like, you're not saving him for anything.
Exactly.
That's the shit that's the stuff that makes me think he's getting fired.
But that's my thing, and that's why now he wins the World Series. He's not getting fired. That's just a fact.
Well, no,
if
but
they find a way to lose this series,
that's the stuff those
look
are the
at.
decisions you're looking at. You're like, dude, come on.
because, and I respect the Dodgers team in that game too, because they could have just thrown that one away. You know, and you've seen it before, even though it's the postseason, that stuff happens sometimes. But I
does.
couldn't agree with you more because you go 1 1/3, and let's say you push him right to the 4th inning, and okay, he gives up another run, maybe 2, right? Well, here's the total runs scored by the Dodgers in this series so far: 8, 4, 6, 7, 4. They've scored 4 or more runs in every game.
Pretty good offense.
Pretty good offense. So that tells you that you have now. There's a threshold, right? If it's bases loaded, nobody out in the second inning, yeah, you're taking that guy out of the game if you already gave up a run in the first inning. But it wasn't that. And it was simply just I felt like analytics came way too much into play, which is why in game 5, when I saw, what was his name? Manuel Margot stealing home.
Love it.
I like it because I'm an aggressive guy. But I just think it's so funny.
I'm surprised he's an aggressive guy.
Weird, right? I just find it so funny, though, that we can be so analytical in certain areas. And then we're going to allow this dude to simply swipe home, right? Kevin Cash, okay? And I want your opinion on this because I got this recording. Kevin Cash spoke about it in his presser after the game. And he mentioned something about Kershaw, which makes me believe this was actually an analytical decision, and he empowered his players to decide to steal home if they felt the position was correct. Here's Kevin Cash after the Game 5 loss talking about how Manuel Margot was thrown out at home with first and third, 2 outs in the 4th inning.
Is he on his own? What did you think of it if it was his own?
Yeah, as a read, I know Kershaw has the real high handset, whatever he does, and I think Manny just felt like he had a beat on it that he could time him up. Frustrating inning. First man on third, no outs, then first and third, no outs. Pop up, strike out, and then get thrown out trying to do that. Ideally, we got to find a way to get that guy in to tie the game right there.
Why I believe that was calculated.
I think you're overthinking it.
I don't think so.
You're overthinking it because if he wasn't look at that stuff to steal second and third, and then they had a bad inning, he was stranded on third for
Right.
2 outs.
But my point being, though, is that when you're talking about stealing second and third, it's a whole lot different than stealing home. Your one error.
That's why you're overthinking
one
it.
bloop,
That's
one
why you're
pass
overthinking
ball.
it. That's why you're
Why?
overthinking it because he made the decision on his own. It was quite obvious.
But don't you think your manager would be like, yeah, no, we can't do that there? If he didn't agree.
No, man, it's the World Series. You're not going to dog your player. You need him to play for you the next game.
Yeah, but
Nah.
you're stealing home.
Overthinking it.
But that was the game.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was. It was the game. It was 3-2. He steals home. He gets banged.
It was the 4th
Max
inning.
Muncy comes out in the 5th, hits a homer. Over.
And yet the night before they just kept trading hits every other inning and it wasn't over. So
But it's all about the way the game is playing out. And you have Kevin Kiermaier
listen,
up.
I don't
already
disagree
is
with
going
you.
deep and swinging the bat
I
well.
don't disagree with you that there are things in games that literally change the tide forever.
That 100% changed the tide forever.
Fair enough, but the manager's not going to dog him in the interview.
No, he's not
He
going to.
tried. He literally tried hard not to.
He's not going to dog him. But I do.
He said we
believe-
got to be better in that situation. That's that was it.
But I do believe if it was something that wasn't calculated, there was no analytics behind it, and they hadn't talked about it, that response would have been different. That's all. That's
Sure.
all I'm saying.
Sure.
We got Game 6 coming up on Tuesday at 8:08 p.m. Then we got Game 7 coming up on Wednesday at 8:08 p.m. Should we tell the Romo Sapiens about what we're going to do this week, or should we wait till right before the show ends?
I mean, I think we're going to watch Game 6, right?
We're going to watch Game 6. No. And then we're going to watch Game 7, but if it happens. But more so than anything else, what we're going to be doing is we're going to have a live reaction show.
Oh, that part. Yeah, I forgot about it.
We're going to have a live reaction show to the World Series.
Very
Okay.
exciting.
I think what Rocky and I are probably going to do is we're just going to make it Wednesday. Because, it's really difficult to try and decide if a game's going to go one way and then decide to be live. So what I want everyone to do, follow us on Twitter and the Gram, okay, at Wide World of Rome. Go to the website, wideworldofrome.com. Follow us on Facebook, The Rome Show 1, whatever it is. And tune in for the show on Wednesday. We'll put it out on a podcast Thursday morning so the Romo Sapiens can hear. We'll break it down. Don't worry. We won't make it an hour. We'll make it 10 to 15 minutes. But we want to give you our live reaction of what happened at the World Series.
It's very exciting.
It's very exciting.
Yes.
It's very exciting. So the last thing we got, which plays right into what we've talked about, Rock, tell the Romo Sapiens what we are watching this week on the television. Talk to us. What are we watching?
I'm watching Game 6, dude.
Why?
Because it's Game 6. It's the World Series.
Game 6, Blake Snell on the mound versus the aforementioned Tony Gonsolin. I said it before. It's an 8:08 start here on ESPN. You could check that game out. I mean, it's going to be a huge one. And I want to give you some stats on Tony Gonsolin, because if you look at his postseason stats right now, they're not great. But people don't realize why he's a starter for the Dodgers in the playoffs. This man was 2-2 in the regular season with a 2.34 ERA. He had 46 Ks and a whip of .84, which means he gives up less than one hit or walk per inning pitched, which is a fantastic stat. So I do believe, Rock, the Dodgers are set up here because I think Gonsolin's out to prove Dave Roberts wrong. And gosh forbid they get to Game 7, you got Walker Buehler on the hill.
Very exciting. I love Walker Buehler.
What you're watching could be brought to you by your business. If you want to sponsor The Rome Show, just shoot us an email. The Rome Show, @gmail.com, and you can become a sponsor. I'll tell you what, man. That was a great time.
Great episode. Big time shout out to Chris Baudo tuning into the Rome Show tonight.
Really?
Yeah.
A Chris Baudo tune in.
I know. Very excited.
We might have to get Chris Baudo on the show as a guest.
Would love to have that.
We love you, the Romo Sapiens. Remember, if you did not hear this whole live show and you want to go back and you want to hear the show again, you can tune in. Facebook.com/The Rome Show 1. It'll stay up on the page forever. Or you can listen to this show wherever you get your podcasts, specifically Apple, Spotify, and SoundCloud.
Oh, outstanding.
You got anything else to say to the people before we leave?
No, see you next week.
We will be back next week here on The Rome Show, Monday, 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, HamiltonRadio.net, Channel 2, and Facebook.com/The Rome Show 1. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter @Wide World of Rome. And again, visit the website, wideworldofrome.com. For Rocky Romanella, I'm Andrew Romanella. We appreciate you, the Romo Sapien, and we will talk to you next week.
Rocky Romanella is the founder and CEO of 360 Management Services, LLC, and author of the book, Tighten the Lug Nuts. With over 40 years of boots-on-the-ground leadership experience, Rocky creates excitement through his energy, passion, and knowledge in every podcast. During his 36 years at UPS, he led one of the largest rebranding initiatives in franchising history, the UPS Store, revolutionizing the $9 billion retail shipping and business services market. He also led the integration of more than 20 acquisitions that became UPS Supply Chain Solutions and let us improve financial performance, capabilities, and global footprint. Post-UPS, he served as CEO and director for Unitech Global Services, a telecommunications company, and serves as an independent board member and advisor. Thank you for listening, and we hope you enjoy the discussion.
Do this look like work to you? Nah, looking at the lights like it's all of this for me. Everyone tonight is here, all of this for me. Hands in the air, yeah, all of this for me. Bottles over here, all of this for me.